Coming up next, the cheerleading scandal here at Ohio State. How far did the crimes go?
And a fellow Buckeye recently got crowned Miss Ohio USA, and she's here. Stay tuned. I'm Alexandria Chapin.
And I'm Aspakani. You're watching Buckeye News Now.
The Ohio State football cheer squad is in the headlines after reports of sexual harassment led to coaches being fired. Dan Hope broke this story and has more on the misconducts.
Ohio State fired 2 assistant cheerleading coaches in May after an OSU investigation found sufficient evidence that the 2 men had violated the university's sexual harassment policy. The investigation began April 6, when OSU received an anonymous complaint that accused Eddie Hollins and Dana Bumbry of creating a hostile environment by sexually harassing cheerleaders, according to investigation records obtained by the Lantern. The report alleged Hollins had specifically harassed male cheerleaders, while Bumbry had specifically harassed female cheerleaders. Head cheerleading coach Lene Buckman confirmed to investigators she initially received a report from a male cheerleader in July 2012. He received inappropriate text messages from Hollins. Attorney John Camillus confirmed to the Lantern that his client, former OSU cheerleader Cody Ellis, made that complaint, which Buckman did not report to OSU's Office of Human Resources. Buckman, who has been OSU's head coach since July 2009, was retained. Ellis, however, is no longer a member of the team. Camillus said Ellis was removed from the team in August, a dismissal Camillus said Ellis believes was in retaliation for his report of Hollins' sexual harassment. Camillus said he believes the fact Buckman remains with the team, while Ellis does not, sends a loud and despicable message to the entire Ohio State community, and particularly the victims of sexual misconduct. For further coverage of the story, visit thelantern.com. For Buckeye TV, I'm Dan Hope.
When Mike Domiters got the call that his sister had been raped, his life was forever changed. This is the reason that the speaker of the Date Safe Project says he is dedicated to educating others about the importance of consent. The speaker travels to different college campuses to talk about sex crimes and how to prevent misunderstandings. On his visit to campus, he had this to share with students.
Sexual assault on college campuses happens a lot because you have a lot of people who haven't learned what consent is, how to verbalize what they want, and how to request it from a partner before assuming what somebody wants. And the golden rule is if you can't talk about it, something tells us you're not comfortable and you shouldn't be doing something with somebody's body you're not able to talk about. This is extremely common because we don't teach our society how to talk sexually. So people make assumptions and then act on that, and that's forcing themselves on somebody versus knowing the person wants it.
Ohio State was recognized as a top university for student veterans. The magazine Military Times noted OSU as one of the top 20 universities for veterans. OSU was also noted for the academic support and extracurricular opportunities given to those veterans.
Would you pay to smell like OSU? Other students are paying to smell like their universities, and Alexandria Chapin found out how for this next story.
When you walk across the oval on a cool fall night like this, you breathe in the scent of OSU. But soon you may be able to buy that scent and smell like OSU wherever you go. Mossick Collegiate Fragrances has introduced the scent of school spirit at 17 large universities. And according to the founder of the company, Katie Mossick, the company is sniffing out trademark and licensing at Ohio State. OSU spokesman Gary Lewis called this contract hypothetical, but if any company wants a whiff of Ohio State trademarks, they would need to complete a licensing application. Currently, Ohio State has over 450 active contracts with 8 to 12 companies. Right now, Mossick offers 17 university fragrances on their website, and each university has an option for men and women. Each fragrance is specific to the university and inspired by the essence of the campus, tradition, and colors. If Ohio State were to go through with this signature scent, we asked students what they think it should smell like.
If I say Buckeyes, is that like the dumbest thing ever? I don't know. Chocolate, peanut butter. It's a really dumb answer, but there you go. I don't know. I really have no idea. I don't have a creative answer for you, really.
I have no idea. I don't have a clue. I'm
Best
sorry.
guess.
Something fall coldish, you know. Yeah, I don't have a clue.
It will cost you about $40 to own 1.7 ounces of your favorite university scent. Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Alexandria Chapin.
When we come back,
Don't go away. Welcome back. We're joined now by Madison Jessiato, who was recently crowned Miss Ohio USA and is a student here studying political science. Thanks for joining us, Madison.
thanks for having me. Now, Madison, how did you get started in pageants?
I actually competed in my first pageant when I was 18. I competed in the teen division of the Miss Ohio USA pageant, and since then competed again last year, made the top 5, and came back this year and won the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And so I'm sure like a lot of work went into preparing for the competition. So how did you manage to balance that and a full-time student?
Absolutely. Growing up, I was a full-time figure skater and a partially homeschooled student. So I had been pretty used to multitasking, being able to juggle a lot of things at once. So throughout the past year, it was really important for me to just make sure that I stuck to my schedule and making sure I got all my homework done in advance so that I did have time to prepare and get ready for the pageant.
So what will this upcoming year look like as Miss Ohio USA and going to Miss USA?
It's going to be a very busy year. I am finishing my senior year here at school, so I'll be busy with that as well as making a lot of appearances. I have my first big appearance next week. I will be appearing on NBC in the Bahamas for the Battle for Atlantis NCAA basketball tournament. On top of that, I'll also be working really closely with the Pink Ribbon Girls here in Ohio to help women throughout all stages of their breast cancer journey, and so we work with them to help support them and their families.
And do you have any advice for any students or young girls that are looking to go into pageants or hopefully maybe be Miss Ohio USA one day?
Absolutely. I think there's a really big misconception around the world of pageantry, and until I actually tried it, I probably would have thought the same thing. So it's really a great opportunity for women to advance themselves in their careers, to advance their public speaking abilities, and to improve their own confidence. I've myself, through the journey of pageantry, really learned more about myself and about how I can improve myself. So.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck next year.
Thank you very much.
When your flight is about to take off, you may not need to put away your phone just yet. Alice Buckeye put her phone on airplane mode to tell us why you can keep your gadgets in hand while taking off.
Passengers used to have to power off their devices as they took off, but now a new flight regulation allows passengers to keep their devices on as they reach 10,000 feet above the ground. The Federal Aviation Administration announced that airlines can let passengers keep their phones, e-books, and other electronic gadgets on during takeoff, landing, and taxiing. The FAA previously banned use of electronics at those times, but new research has allowed for change.
No ban for these types of devices while flying. It was originally created because of the older aircraft, and when older aircraft were being flown, and then we had this proliferation of new devices that came out on the market, it was just an unknown. Now they finally had some research, right? Now they finally had the ability to say, yes, we know for a fact, not just guessing like we've been doing in the past, and the concerns that we have just really weren't warranted.
While your phone still needs to stay in airplane mode, a developing app may let you talk to people on the ground. GoGo is working on an app that will allow passengers to text and even talk to people on your phone while you're over 10,000 feet in the air. With the use of technology becoming a norm on flights, we asked students what they think about it.
I mean, it might get a little bit annoying for the people who don't like to hear text message ringers going off all the time, so airlines might have to mandate, a silent mode or vibrate or something, but I really don't think, as long as nobody's safety is compromised, I don't really see the big deal.
I think it's okay as long as it doesn't, interfere with anything going on with the plane. I don't want anyone to get hurt, in a plane accident or anything, but I think it's all right.
Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Alice Buckeye. Mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, and turkey are just a few of the things that make us think of Thanksgiving, but there's an alternative look at the traditional holiday. The Student Life Multicultural Center gave students a chance to learn about American Indians and their culture at the time of the first Thanksgiving. Students also got a chance to get a taste of what food was like during that time.
Thanksgiving means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but for one thing, it was not all happy-go-lucky pilgrims and Indians sitting down and having dinner together. There was actually a lot of controversy at the first Thanksgiving, which, if we look at the historical record, was in 1620, but it actually didn't become a real holiday until the 20th century, and that's when Americans started celebrating it.
As we glide into this holiday season, OUAB is bringing the holiday spirit to campus. The plaza outside the Ohio Union was transformed into an ice skating rink this week. Students could grab a pair of free ice skates and try out the makeshift rink.
This event, Skating on the Oval, it's actually a synthetic ice rink, so it's actually plastic, but it's a slick oil surface. It's even slipperier, like more slippery than regular ice. And then there's also ice skates that are going to be included. And later tonight when it starts, there'll be a hot chocolate buffet with like different flavored whipped creams, just like to welcome the winter season.
When we come back, our sports director Brad Comer is in studio bringing you our weekly sports report.
And we've got a look at your weekend weather forecast. Don't go away.
Now we're joined by our sports director, Brad Comer, to bring us our sports report. Brad, thanks for joining us today.
And thanks for having me on this weekend. It was a big weekend for both the Ohio State football and basketball teams. We'll rewind to last Saturday. The third-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes kept the nation's longest winning streak alive at 22 straight games with a win over Illinois 60-35. Looking at that score on paper without watching the game, you would think the Buckeyes won convincingly. For those who watched, then you know the real story of what took place in Champaign. The Illini offense, totaled 420 yards on the Silver Bullet defense, in which that offensive effort, led by quarterback Nathan Shieldhouse, brought Illinois within 9 points of the Buckeyes. It would be Carlos Hyde's career-high 246 yards rushing and 5 total touchdowns that led Ohio State to a 25-point victory.
We kind of hit a wall. We came out, scoring points, then all of a sudden we just hit a wall, and we wasn't scoring. We was going 3 and out. So I feel like we definitely have to improve this week of practice. We have to get better. We can't come out and play like that again.
These players work so hard, and I have to make sure that our focus is on just being, just getting better each week instead of all the national stuff. And, I think I'm learning a lesson. Just shut your mouth and let's just, go. Quit worrying about this, quit worrying about that. Let's get a little better.
2 Buckeyes earning Big Ten awards this week. The man we just talked about, Carlos Hyde, named Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week for his career-high 246 yards rushing versus Illinois. Hyde's performance ranked him 3rd on the all-time OSU single-game rushing list, just behind Keith Byers and Eddie George. A name we have been hearing a lot this season, Ryan Shazier earning Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week for his efforts last weekend. Shazier recorded 15 total tackles, in which 11 were solo, and added 1.5 sacks against the Illini. When we think of Ohio State's rival in football, Michigan usually is the first team that comes to mind, and quite frankly, the only team that comes to mind to Buckeye fans. Well, the matchup between the Buckeyes and the Illini is in fact considered a rivalry game, and it's played for a very unique type of trophy. Asia Gore has more.
Ohio State fans made the nearly 5-hour journey to today's game, but this guy might have taken a little bit longer.
The Illinois, I love it. I think it's great. I met the statue. Is that what is it called? The trophy. I got a picture with it last year, and it was awesome.
Illabuck was a living turtle in the 1920s, but now the winner of the Illinois-Ohio State game takes home a wooden replica.
He's the second oldest Big Ten trophy, and this is actually the 10th turtle that we've had, and then after every year, then the new score gets carved into the back.
A record is kept on the turtle shell, a record that shows the Buckeyes' ownership 10 times of the past 13 games.
I think it's really cool that we can have our individual rivalry with Illinois, and that we can share that with them for this trophy.
And the Illabuck will remain with the Buckeyes as they beat Illinois 60-35. Reporting from Memorial Stadium, I'm Asia Gore.
And let's go ahead and take a look at this week's BCS standings. Alabama and Florida State holding down the top 2 spots, and it is Ohio State on life support this week at number 3 as the Baylor Bears, with a win against Oklahoma State, 1 win away from jumping the Buckeyes in the rankings. So with that being said, is the BCS treating the Bucks unfairly? Urban Meyer weighs in.
You know, without spending much time on it, because it's not fair to our team for me to spend much time on it, but I will say this, that I think it's a flawed system, but when you logically think about it, what the BCS people have done, which obviously we're all part of it, I think it was great for a while. You know, I think you took an imperfect system and did the best you can without forcing a playoff. Now I imagine this, but there's going to be controversy in playoffs too now. There's not a 64 team playoff, so you're going to have 4 guys. What's that 5th team going to feel like?
This weekend's matchup against Indiana marks the final time 18 seniors play ball inside Ohio Stadium. It's been a bumpy ride for the senior class as the team dealt with a tumultuous 6-7 campaign in 2011 and actually played under 3 different head coaches in that time. But where is this class now? They're going to miss a lot of great memories in Ohio Stadium and being an Ohio State Buckeye, according to this current team.
It's been one heck of a ride. Just a lot of stuff thrown at us. For the guys that made it through and for the guys that stuck it out, it's through everything, through the ups and downs, it's absolutely been worth it.
Yeah, really right now I'm trying not to think about it because I know when I run out of that tunnel for the last time it's going to be a pretty emotional thing. But it's been a great ride, and I owe everything. I owe who I am to this university, and
it's going to be a touchy day. I hope so. Some tears may come out, but I'm hoping not and everything, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Just walking out and just seeing the fans' reaction to me walking out of the tunnel for the last time in the shoe is, I feel like it's probably going to be a great experience.
Fast forward to next weekend, the Buckeyes will sport rivalry uniforms against that team up north, Ohio State wearing all white unis to pay homage to the 1950 Snow Bowl game against Michigan. Since 2009, Ohio State is 5-0 when wearing these alternate uniforms. The Buckeye men's basketball team also had action over the weekend, defeating 17th-ranked Marquette 52-35 in Milwaukee. After the game, senior point guard Aaron Craft set a milestone. Craft's 10 points and 10 assists made him the first Buckeye to eclipse 1,000 career points, 500 assists, and 200 steals in his career as an Ohio State Buckeye. With the win over Marquette, OSU is now 8th overall in this week's AP poll, jumping 3 spots from last week. Michigan State is the new number 1 this week, coming off a win over previous number 1 Kentucky. It's the first time the Spartans are ranked atop the AP poll at number 1 in 13 years. And that's a look at this week's Buckeye TV Sports. And now looking ahead at your weekly weather forecast as we get into the latter half of November. Temperatures begin to plummet. Showers can be expected heading into the weekend with temperatures reaching about a high of 52 degrees. If you're planning to go out to the game Saturday, you will want to bundle up because there's a low chance of 32 degrees that night. By Sunday, you will want to get out your heavier winter coats if you haven't already done so. We can expect a chilly 30 degrees, and those temperatures aren't looking up for the week ahead.
That's all we have for you this week on Buckeye News Now. Thanks for watching.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on our Twitter page. Have a great weekend.
Okay, this is a discussion.